Hey Brian, can I ask you about Bobby Okereke and, since he's come into the locker room and everything like that, sometimes guys are a little reluctant to be leaders, speak up and whatnot. What have you noticed about him in terms of his leadership and how he's taken to, the locker room with those younger guys?
He's been a true pro. I think he's fit in really well, not just with the defense, but with the offensive guys as well. Been a good leader for us in a short time in OTAs. And usually when you play that position, the middle linebacker position, you have some leadership traits about you, and he certainly does.
I know you have a lot of football that you have to get to here in the next couple of weeks, but when the heat and the elements are like today, what kind of precautions do you take? How do you keep an eye on how guys are feeling out there?
We've met on that. We met on it last week, just getting ready for this week. So, I think the training staff, nutritionist, sports science, we've tried to get them to a spot, these last few days where they're doing what we need them to do to try to, stay as healthy as they can with all this heat. But that's training camp. So, we'll keep an eye on everybody, make sure we got the cooling tents and, all these different drinks and stuff to try to help them stay hydrated. So I'm sure they'll be sweating a lot out there today.
And when they're actually on the field, it's just a matter of, if you don't feel right, speak up.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we put in water breaks, 2 or 3 of them at times. Take the helmets off during walkthrough just to let the heat get out a little bit. Try to manage them the best we can.
Is there a temperature threshold? Is there a temperature where it's like, okay, it's just a matter of humidity, air quality, it's all these?
Yeah. No, it's those guys do a great job. The training staff, they do a fantastic job. The health and the safety of our players is always first and foremost. But we'll go out there and try to get a good day in.
5 p.m. practices, is that related to that, or what's the purpose of these?
Yeah, no, that's something that we talked about in these meetings. Was it you asked me yesterday about it?
About
before, yeah. It was going through that. We're going to do that a few times. Plus, it gives them a little bit more recovery time, kind of on the 3rd day, and it's a different feel for the day. So there'll be times during the season we have different schedules. I thought that was a good thing to do.
So Shane Lemieux worked on center in the offseason just kind of on his own, he said, and he came to you guys and said, I can kind of want to try to do this now. What did you think of that, and how does he look so far?
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you try to create as much value as you can for yourself as a player, and not just Shane, but there's a few other guys that are playing all 3 interior positions, and the more you can do, the more you can do in this business.
People get excited when you draft a rookie and a rookie high, especially at the receiver position. Is there a learning curve, and does somebody like Jalen or whoever really need to show you that they're ready to play against a higher level?
Yeah, well, I think regardless of the position, when you're a rookie, there's always an adjustment period. I had coached receivers early in my career for 6 years or somewhat. Drafted quite a bit of receivers. They're all different, just like every player, every position is different. So the job of the coaching staff, again, is to get these guys as prepared as we can get them to buy into the program, do the right thing. Certainly a lot of stuff to learn, and that's why we're here to try to help him as best we can. And he's got to put the work in too.
Well, a lot of your rookies got hurt last year, even a few in camp. And I don't know if it was you or Joe said you're going to look into the onboarding program. I don't know if that meant the spring, or do you guys make any?
No, I mean that's something we talk about as well. It's just for these rookies, it's tough not to make an excuse for any of them, but that's kind of is what it is. They go from their season right to the combine, right to working out for 40-yard dashes and vertical jumps and all those type of things, and then they have their pro days, but they don't get a full off season of training in. So then they get drafted or they get signed as a free agent, then they're right into the program. So usually from year 1 to year 2, the second-year players, it's a little bit of a different feel for those guys, but it's the same every year. It's been the same every year since I've been in the league, and we'll do the best we can.
How do you see Jalen Hyatt fitting in with this offense with myriad things he can do?
It's going to be up to him to go out there and show what he can do. We've had 2 days. I mean, we had an OTA, but we had 2 days. He's got a lot of work ahead of him, just like everybody on the team does. And again, everybody will earn their role, whatever that may be.
What makes the offense that he ran in Tennessee so different than this level that it's talked about a lot?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's really that different. I know everybody. I think Josh does a fantastic job there. He runs a lot of good football plays. He executed them well. Jalen did. You know, everybody runs a different offense. It's not exactly the same, but you know, Josh has had a pretty dynamic offense ever since he's coached.
Any change in Rakeem's status?
No, he's making progress. Yeah, he won't be doing anything today, but hopefully he's getting close.
What do you think of that collision with Darius and Sills yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it's football. You know, like we talked about the other day, you try your best to, you know, avoid contact, particularly without pads on. Even when you do have the pads on, you know, you want to take care of the guys, but there'll always be some of that.
Did any injuries coming out of yesterday? Or guys you're dialing back?
Yeah, so I'd say Gio he'll kind of do walkthroughs. He just got a little bruise, but still pretty stiff. And then Cole got kneed in the quad, so we'll give him a rest day.
Any of the pup guys coming off or close to coming off?
I'd say they're all at different areas. Nothing today. Getting closer though.
Anyone in particular getting close?
All of them. No, that's okay.
With Darren Waller, and
Yeah.
again, I know it's early,
Yeah.
but like, how has what you thought he would be coming in here stacked up to like the real thing?
You know, you watch tape. He's a good football player. You know, he's been productive in this league. Again, the biggest thing is getting him acclimated to our program, and then you always have a great amount of respect for people that have produced in this league, and he certainly has. And there's been good give and take. You know, just try to string them together. But he's been a good player in this league for a while, and he's done a nice job since he's been here.
Is it tough to get receivers to buy into, like when you have Paris in the slot and then you have him lined up at running back? Like, what are those conversations like about, here's how we're going to use you? Have you done it before? Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, they're really, you know, we have a bunch of really good guys that are team guys, and they're usually willing to try anything. And so the guys that we think have position flexibility and can handle it mentally, you know, we mix and match them. I think they have fun with it a little bit. Paris is a great example of that. You know, he's an ultimate team guy. He's been a really good addition for us. You know, happy we have him.
What have you learned? You always talk about you're thinking about today.
Sure.
What have you learned?
That's a correct statement.
What have you learned about the todays you've had so far through spring and, you know, the early stages of this?
Well, today it's really hot.
Yesterday was too.
Yeah. So no, I don't go too far back. I just, you know, that try to go out there and have a good one today.
Dave, you always seem like the kind of person or kind of coach that wants to tap into guys emotionally, mentally, know where they're at.
Yeah.
How big of a role is that when guys are going through ups and downs, whether it's early or
Sure.
knowing when that happens to be on it? And
Yeah,
know what-
I think it's big. I think, again, I wasn't always as empathetic as I try to be right now. This is a tough time of year for a lot of players. You know, there's only so many roster spots that are available. You really have to try to just focus on today, and for young players, sometimes that's hard. So again, getting to know them, giving them opportunity, rolling guys, you know, that's our job as a coaching staff. But you know, you can start, you know, drowning a little bit if you start thinking too far ahead. And you try your best as a coach to just keep it day to day, focus on the things that you can control, and when you get opportunities, make the most of them.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
Are there times where negative plays almost deserve more attention from you guys than positive plays this time of year or even heading towards the season?
I think all plays are teaching plays in training camp, whether they're, you know, a play that wasn't executed properly or a really good play. I think as a coach you have to be able to teach off the ones that, you know, you have to teach off of that maybe didn't go the way you want them to go, and then also give them praise too when things are going well. I'd say it's a delicate balance, but I think if the players know that the coach is really trying to help them improve their craft, they buy in.
Going back to Darren a little bit, he brought up today like that route freedom that he's had and that dialogue that you guys have had. How have you seen him kind of respond to that and just those first couple days?
No, he's a great pro. We have good conversations. I'd say he's really fit in with the group. You know, I think guys have a lot of respect for him, not just you know, for the player that he's been in this league, for the person he is, some of the stuff that he's been through. He's a really mature not young man, I guess. Well, I guess he is young still. He's been a really great teammate. You know, really happy we have him.
Is that something in a player, like a new guy like that I don't know if they usually have that in those first couple of days of camp that you work with?
With what?
A little bit of freedom in that back and forth.
No, not with us. I mean, we have run certain routes, and if the guys can do them and are able to, you know, read coverages and, you know, make adjustments, you know, we'll try to use them any way we can.